Hey there rulers, DeMeulle73 here, bringing you our deck list for Elektra Midrange. Let's go ahead and jump right in.
This session brought to you by Odyssey Games for pre-orders and sealed product, CCG Prime for tons of singles and supplies, Cardo Doko for international rulers looking for products, and FoulLibrary.com for articles and wonderful deck lists.
As well as our guest lecturer members King Pearlshine, Vite Ramen, Mognite, and Darren Noblock.
Class is in session.
So here is the list. Just again, before we get started though, a reminder that Clash of the Star Trees is available for pre-order right now with Odyssey Games. You can check the link in the description, and you can sign up for our Crimson Moon Battleground Wanderer format event over on the Discord server, taking place July 22nd. Link in the description for that below, so you can get one of these awesome Little Maria playmats for the month. So, this is Elektra Midrange. It is a black-red splash green version that is our take based on Stephen Jesswein's top 8 list that he piloted. We just tweaked a little bit of the numbers around, but mostly it is the shell that he designed. It took to that top 8 finish at the GP. Elektra is the queen of random, so you never really know what you're going to be starting with, especially because of the fact that you will always be getting your armament of the first armament of the game after mulligans, but because of that we try to make the deck as little dependent on armaments as possible, or in terms of specific armaments, and more give you just good little interactions overall, so to just generate the armaments, and it doesn't really matter which ones you hit, having them is what matters. Stone base wise, we're playing 4 copies of Fire Moon Fragment, 2 Darkness Moon Fragment, and 4 Moonshade. This is to give us that black-green or black-red splash green color base, as well as as much filtering as possible. The deck is pretty heavily dependent on red to really get going, because that is how you are getting armaments, and black is upgrading them. We're playing armament package. We're playing a bow and arrow, chain sickle, longsword for swiftness, rapier because it combos well with chain sickle or with bow and arrow, amulet orb just for some protection, battle flag for that chip damage and stat pump, as well as rough magic stone because sometimes you just get a little bit of ramp out of it, which is really, really nice. Main deck wise, we are playing 4 copies of Armament Refinement to be able to go into dragon form as much as possible. Only 3 copies of Armament Upgrade because Elektra's horror form isn't the thing that we're using to win the game most of the time, but it is helpful. 4 copies of Carmilla for some upgrades. 2 copies of Curse of the Clown just because it's additional discard, it cycles, and there is that thing where if you're going first, you can technically, if your opponent doesn't have any interaction, kind of steal their first stone call by just like playing a clown. They let the enter effect resolve, you regain priority, use the clown to tap down all of their rulers, and then they skip their first recovery phase. Rarely happens, but it is something neat that's in there. And then 4 copies each of Ryzen and Intel. They are your main beaters and kind of win con outside of doing a contract. 4 copies of Phantasmal Ascendant to give us more will to be able to push through the lethal damage earlier. And then the protection package of Kilo, a Fossil Girl in the City, 3 copies of Lorite, 2 copies of Persephone, 2 Garion, and then Silencing Spell, which is really nice against some decks that want a contract because you just make all of their stuff cost more, and it buys you some time to be able to set up for the lethal. It's a pretty straightforward deck. I mean, I think what you saw in the feature match really shows what it can do, or kind of what the lines kind of look like, but I'm curious to see if you've been playing Elektra any different, so let us know in the comment sections down below. Huge thanks to Stephen Jesswein for shipping us the initial list, for being able to tweak and show it to you all on the channel, and until next time, this is DeMeulle73 saying class dismissed.